Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to try to create a massive replica of another Trailmakers object. Before I did this gimbal jet here, which is obviously exactly what it is, a giant version of a gimbal jet. This thing is near max complexity and is a replica of this little thing here, and it also functions in a similar way as it too. So I think I wanted to try that again. And I was thinking about what object might be kind of fun to do. And if you want to see more of this series, let me know what other objects in the game you think would make fun replicas to try to make. And I was thinking about going for a raw jet. Not only building this thing to replicate a raw jet, but trying to build it kind of almost out of raw jets too. So it'll function like a raw jet because it's literally made of raw jets. And I'm curious how fast we'll be able to go with it. So let's take a close look here at what we're dealing with. Now that I'm looking at the details, it's way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was a pretty rectangular build, and it's not. There's a lot of circularity going on, and these fin things are going to be hard. And there's like these fan blades. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that very well. At least not that many. It's kind of hard to predict what size, like what scale I need to build to fit within the complexity limit, but also be as big as I can. Because if I start too big and then I go too far, I mean, I guess I could enable the complexity mod worst case scenario. I just don't know how I'm going to get these 45-degree angle ones to work. So I think this, I spawned in the circle I made for the gimbal jet. I think that's way too big for this. This thing is going to be pretty densely packed. So I don't think we can go that big. So I'm going to try, it looks like a good way to start. I think I need to build a cylinder because it looks like there's just a cylinder going through and then it's going to taper down, and that is going to be a nightmare if I can even figure that out. But let's get started. So this is 2 blocks wide. I think the last thing I built was a 20 times scale. Since this one's so much more complicated, let's go with a 10 times scale. So then our radius would be 10 of these, or no, our diameter would be 10 of these. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's pretty big still. All right, so I brought up a pixel generator so I can try to do my pixel generation thing, which isn't as useful because I wanted to round it out, and that requires changing some things. But if this is, I guess technically, all right, well, let's just worry about just the circle. So we got 1, 2, then up, then 1, 2, up, 2, 1, up. So this is a quarter. So then we should just be able to copy paste. And does this look like a circle? That looks close enough to a circle. All right, now I got to figure out how to round it out effectively. Cause see, like, it's more complicated because then I gotta try to like even things out this way. Okay, let me just focus on a quarter of it at a time. All right, this is what I'm looking at for cylinder. So that looks pretty round to me. So that's the scale. Now the thing is, all right, so here's our thruster here. So we want like segments like that. So if this is a 10 times scale, right? So width wise 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, this is gonna be a 10 times scale. So how many blocks long is this? 5 blocks long, which is 2.5 in the scale that we're using. So I kind of feel like these black sections should be like 8 blocks long because they're like a little bit less than a block. So if that's the case, we can definitely simplify a lot. So if these are 8 blocks long, these whole sections, it's going to be this long. So we can simplify that. Now what I'm doing is reducing complexity a drastic amount rather than copy and pasting this ring 4 times and making it 4 times as complex as the 68 blocks that it already was. I'm going to essentially reduce it by nearly a quarter, or reduce it to a quarter of the complexity it would be. Not quite that much, because some of these are going to be multiple blocks. Some of them are going to be reduced down to 1 block. So that block becomes this block. There's no long version of this block. So these are gonna be where the complexity gets a little bit more complicated. My complexity is getting complicated. All right, I think I've finished a quarter of it, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Delete the... This actually kind of has a futuristic vibe to it already. All right, so this is a quarter. So we do that. And that. And that. There we go. We took from 68 blocks to 152 blocks. So it should have been, what, 280 blocks? Pretty much, close to that. So we definitely reduced the complexity quite a bit. So essentially what we've just done is built like this section here. So now I want to build one of these rings on it. Or not rings, the opposite of rings. These square bracket things. So it looks like perhaps it is half the length. So we're going to do like 4 block. And then maybe up by a single block like that. All right, so since this is kind of a square, but then it has like a tapered edge. Okay, cool. Yeah, so now this can probably taper down with this. I feel like I should go a little bit more like that. I don't think this thing is gonna go very fast. As I'm adding to this thing, there's gonna be so much weight on this. All right, since the inside isn't gonna be something we're gonna be looking at too much, which means I probably shouldn't have actually rounded the inside here, should I? I think I actually want to delete all the inside wedges because we're gonna put thrusters in there. Because yeah, we're not gonna be looking at the inside of this at all. Yeah, so this all gets removed. This just gives us more attachment points on the inside. There we go, that looks fine. Okay, we got this. All right, now we've got bracket. Let's color this black. I think that looks okay. All right, so let's say that this is the front. So we need 4 of these rings. So that's 1, 2. Uh-oh. We went way too big. I'm not even close to done yet. This is just 10 times, right? Did I miss multiply? Oh my goodness. All right, complexity mod time. I'll just put it up to 7,000. What's crazy is like, these are just all basic parts. They're not like high complexity parts. I don't know about the finer details on this thing. Like, I really don't know how this is gonna go. I can't do that rounded ring. I just have to have a ring on the end. So if I copy like, dang it, now I gotta simplify this. All right, same thing. I'm just gonna do a quarter at a time. So I want these to be reduced to single versions. So this gets reduced to that. This 4x8 gets reduced to a 4x4, and so on. All right, there we go. Now it's sticking out just a little bit from the front. This is where the whole fan thing is gonna happen. So I guess let's fill this in. Trying to save as much as I can on complexity because I'm gonna lag out my game with this. I'm already at 800 and something blocks. This is ridiculous. Why did I do it this way? All right, I filled that in. So there's a circle in the middle of this. It does stick out slightly. Okay, I know what I'm doing here. Man, my game's already lagging out quite a bit. All right, there we go. So it kind of seems like this one is like lighter gray. Honestly, this whole back panel is kind of lighter gray too. Is there a decal I can use on these? Decal. Oh my goodness. It's too big for the maximum size of this decal. It would have been perfect. I should have built it to the maximum size of this. Can I? Oh, I wish I could scale it up more. It should be infinity. It should be that scale, but I can't go back now. I've worked so hard on this. I'd literally have to start over. All right, the front I think is actually pretty good. Could have been better if I went smaller, but it's pretty good. Let's focus on the back section now. So it's not sticking out quite that much. All right, I feel like building one of these isn't too hard on the up, down, left, and right, but to do it on this angle, I don't know. Also, this tapering circle, that doesn't work either. That doesn't work for me. I don't like it. All right, let's focus on this though. This needs to be a little bit shorter, actually, I think. I'm gonna have it... I'm actually gonna copy this to the back. I'm having an issue with scale here, because if I build it like this, I can definitely fit one on the corner. But it looks too thin compared to the scale of how these ones fit. It looks like really small. But if I make it like this instead, then the problem is you can see if I copy and paste this up, and this one is at the same spot as it would be if I have the same scale. If this angle is down, it's gonna collide. Like there's actually not enough room to do it at this scale. So this is too big and the other one's too small, but the too big one doesn't fit, I don't think. Here, let me actually try something here. Yeah, see, it's like just too much. Actually, oh no, this is, maybe this doesn't have to go out that much. Maybe this goes out. I think this will actually be better. I just do that. I mean, technically on here, it looks like 45 degrees, but I think this is gonna make it overall fit better without colliding. All right, that'll look good, I think. Actually, I don't think it's gonna be, I don't think there's gonna be an even spacing between these. Here, let me see. Yeah, so it's slightly, as you can see, more space on the connection point than the other one, but I think we'll even it out and it'll look plenty good enough. Hey, it's coming together. That's not bad. It's not that noticeable. So then, like, can I make these invisible? Okay, that's good enough. So the problem is we kind of need this cone thing now. Either I build like concentrically smaller circles, or I just don't have a taper. Because it's a really gentle, taper. How far out does it go? It goes out to just before the ends. I guess it would start in a block. And it would end right there. I almost feel like it's more gradual than that. Like it would be like this amount. Here. If we do the 6 block long, be like there and there. I think that's pretty much the taper. All right, I think I've got the best I can come up with in 1/4. So let's copy and paste it. I gotta carefully select every single one of these. And hope I didn't... Oh, I missed one right there. Hope I didn't miss anything else. All right, that's something. Can we make it look a little bit better with, like, this piece? Kinda. All right, we're over 1,000 blocks now. Literally biggest creation I think I've ever built. Okay, so now we have, like, the inner cone, which I think we can actually make look okay. Because we got these pieces here. Wait, we have 3 different wedge corners, but only 2 different quarter cones. Am I missing a quarter cone? As you can see, this isn't a consistent... I guess I could use the slightly longer one to be more consistent with that quarter cone. Yeah, that one's gonna be more consistent. Huh. These things go together with no seam. You see that? But these things have a seam. You can kind of see the seam here a little bit, but it's just way less noticeable on the quarter cones. All right, so now all of this I want to be a neon blue. That's a little intense, but it is right. It reflects a lot more off of this. Maybe if I turn this into matte black. Ah, there we go. That works. All right, this has a bunch of like pipe work and stuff. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about all that, but we might be able to do something. All right, so now on the inside here, I'm gonna put a bunch of thrusters. Like a bunch of thrusters. All right, now you can see that there is a wall of these thrusters. We got some gaps just because... Here, let's actually do this a little bit. Just to make it a little bit more even. It's just not symmetrical in the middle like that, but that's good enough. I think this thing actually looks pretty okay. The small propeller in the front. Whoa, we actually do go kind of... Okay, no, then we slow... I forgot these things have a cooldown. You know what we need? We need more thrusters. Here, let's get rid of this reference model for now, and we'll just copy all thrusters and paste. So we're going 1135 to 1187. All right, what are we looking at for space in here now? No space. There is literally no space in here. It is filled with thrusters. So, hold on, what are the dimensions? How do I do... I want to put a seat in here is what I want to do right now. Here, how about this? We are going to delete a couple of thrusters from here, and I should be able to fit a seat right in there. There we go. All right, now how powerful is it? It's so powerful and weak at the same time, but it works just like the real thruster. I'm gonna try to do some of the pipe stuff. I don't know how successful this will be though. All right, there we go. I got some of the pipes in, these thicker pipes here. You can see there's like, they don't go here. So there's that. Let's see what else. There's like other weird pipe things, but I don't know if I can replicate those ones. They curve down and they're on like an angle. I might ignore those. All right, I can use this decal. And then rather than trying to copy the decal, I can copy the part with the decal on it all the way around. Oh my god, it's so laggy. It doesn't even like detect me picking up the right blocks. All right, I got the these decal stripes there. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm actually wondering, there's one thing that could potentially make this good, or it might actually just completely ruin it. What if I switch this to these like... see, it's too shiny. This needs to be like similar to that. Oh, that's actually not too bad. That actually might be better. I just gotta not have it on the pipe pieces, but that's actually an easy change to make. Okay, let's go with that. All right, check it out. This is what we're looking at. I even, I changed the default color instead of the pitch black. I changed it to like the really, really dark gray, which allowed me to add pitch black on these panels here, which give a little bit more accuracy to how it looks here. The front looks like that, which I think it's good enough. Woo! Now, surprisingly, this thing isn't that laggy. It is, I don't know how much complexity it actually is. But block count, it is 1,500 blocks. I'm gonna lower the complexity down to 2,000. All right, so I'm actually only 1,588 complexity. So almost just one complexity blocks. I think a couple of steering hinges that I added is what bumped it up a little bit. 826 power cores. That is insane. All right, I gotta figure out, can this thing get off the ground if I tilt it upwards? Can I even tilt it upwards without breaking the game? Oh, did you feel that? All right, ready? No way. It actually has enough to keep gaining altitude too. That's awesome. I can even use seat control to pitch myself. It's a thruster. It is a massive scale thruster. It feels way more than 10x scale, but I made the diameter 10x. Also, well, volume is obviously way more than 10x. Just in diameter, I made 10x. So then, yeah, the volume doesn't, the volume cubes. All right, we're gonna crash this thing. Ooh. It was beautiful. I forgot that the thrusters actually explode now when they get broken. So that's a lot of explosions. So that's why the whole thing just kind of disintegrated. All right, well, there it is. Gigantic, super max complexity, because we have exceeded max complexity by more than 2x. 2 times max complexity on this thing. So if there's any other objects that you think would be kind of fun to try to make a max complexity version of, or like just a high complexity version, high scale version, let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some more you can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.